Hello, friends. Welcome into Seattle Seahawks today. I am your host, Tom Downey, and I know you don't want to get into it, but we kind of have to on today's Seahawks rumors video. Russell Wilson and the trade buzz around him. So the report from NFL.com's Mike Silver is that 1/3 of the NFL is called about Wilson, although the Seahawks don't want to trade him and they want to keep him. And they want to upgrade the offensive line, and they got the message from Russ in his public media tour about trying to add more offensive lineup and make him healthy and throw the ball, blah, blah, blah. The note that also came along from Silver is that other teams think the price would be at least 3 first-round picks, which I think is probably fairly reasonable of a hypothetical asking price for who, as a reminder, a player who has a no-trade clause. And thus, the only way Russell Wilson gets traded is if he says, I want out, you guys need to trade me. Now, we also know that the way John Schneider operates as a GM is he listens to everything. And I guess, hypothetically, if a team showed up and said, we'll give you our next 5 drafts over a 5-year span, maybe he'd listen. Russ is not getting traded this year. I will be more shocked than anything in the world if they actually moved him this year. Well, then what makes more sense, frankly, is to restructure his contract, bring down his cap hit this year, and go find some more offensive linemen. Because I like Dwayne Brown, I like Damian Lewis, Brandon Shell is fine as a starter. You probably want a new center, and you probably want a new left guard. So Seattle's not shopping Russell Wilson. A trade's not going to happen this year. But if things go poorly again next year, there are enough issues in the relationship that maybe marriage counseling doesn't end up working out and they have to go the route of a trade. At some point down the road, it's not happening this year. But hypothetically speaking, please don't get too mad at me here. Which would you rather have? Would you rather have Russ, type in R, or do you want the draft picks and do you want to blow it up and rebuild? I don't want to, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. If you gave it the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and get your votes in. If you'd rather have Russell Wilson, type in R or type in P for the draft picks. Let's go to Josh Gordon now because we're all over the map, baby. Welcome to the NFL offseason, right? John Clayton said over the weekend, the Seahawks have re-signed Josh Gordon. Bob Condot of the Seattle Times says, no, they have not. I don't know. Maybe they have. Maybe they haven't. Maybe the Seahawks have a handshake agreement to re-sign Gordon if and when he gets reinstated by the NFL. Doesn't frankly matter all that much, I don't think, because Gordon is still suspended. And I think it's been made very clear over the past year plus that if Josh Gordon gets to play football again, it's going to be as a member of the Seattle Seahawks. Like, Gordon likes it there, the team likes him, Russell Wilson likes him, that's where he's going to be, right? I don't think in the end you can ever trust him, unfortunately. And as nice as it would be to have Josh Gordon for 16 games and DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, you cannot build a team and a roster around the assumption that Josh Gordon will be there. You just can't, because you can't trust him. He's barely played over his NFL career. He's missed more games than he's played in, which sucks, but that's the reality of where we're at with Gordon. So I'd love to have him. I don't know if it's ever going to, though. So make your predictions for me. Will Josh Gordon ever play again? I hope the answer is 1 for yes, but be honest with me. 1 for yes or 0 for no. Now, if Gordon does get reinstated or if he gets re-signed officially or any move the Seahawks make, we'll break it down for you. Links below, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. If you want to stay up on everything going on around the Seahawks, hit that big red button and subscribe today. Let's go to free agency now. How about signing Jonnu Smith, the tight end from the Titans? Sports Illustrated, the Maven, whatever it's called these days, cited a source saying the Seahawks plan to make a run at Jonnu Smith in free agency. Now, the team previously, as we mentioned on the show, had been linked to Zach Ertz. It's an intriguing option. Now, Jonnu Smith fits more of what we call the modern-day move tight end. This is no longer your classic Jason Witten. We're going to be in line the entire time. This is someone who offers you more down-the-field game-breaking ability. Somebody I think would actually fit really well with Russell Wilson. He's a more dynamic pass catcher, not as involved as a blocker. Much more in the Jimmy Graham style of a tight end. Of course, he's not prime Jimmy Graham, don't get me wrong. Good player, battled some injuries, up-and-coming guy. He would be tight end 1 if he were to sign. And at that point, you definitely would let Jacob Hollister leave. Will Dissly would be your tight end 2. And Colby Parkinson, your 4th-round pick from a year ago, gets relegated to tight end 3. The problem here is that once a player hits free agency, there's normally a bidding war. And the cost gets expensive. Any team that wants a legit tight end, Smith would probably be their top target. So the question then becomes, okay, just how much does Jonnu Smith get? I don't think he's going to get Kittle or Kelsey money. He could push for Austin Hooper money, though. He could push for $10 million. He could probably get $9 million. Kyle Rudolph, back end of his deal, is not that great. He could get 9 or at least 8 on the open market. That's a lot of money to pay at a position that I don't believe is the Seahawks' biggest need. You bring in Jonnu Smith. I think he becomes your number 3 receiving option. You probably value a wide receiver 3 a lot less. You probably use more 2 tight end sets with Will Dissly as well, but it would be expensive and you have less money available to sign an offensive lineman. So what do you guys want? Do you want to sign Jonnu Smith? Simple yes or no question. If you do, we'll type in Y for yes. If you don't, type in N for no. Now, Seahawks face masks, are up to 75% off. That's how you can find a discount on the open market, right? Chatsports.com/Seahawks mask. I will put that link in the comments and in the description. So all you guys got to do is click and go pick whatever one you want. They got individual ones. They got 4-packs, with the majority of them being 75% off. Kind of a mega sale going on for just a very short period of time on Fanatics. You got tons of styles, tons of color schemes, tons of fonts, tons of variety in the end. They're all available at chatsports.com/Seahawks mask. Again, that link will be in the comments and in the description. Hope everyone's staying safe out there. A Seahawks mask, we're repping your team while you do it, by the way, will help you stay safe. Let's go to the franchise tag now. Will it be placed on Shaquill Griffin? Of the team's options, Griffin makes way more sense than Chris Carson and KJ Wright, who we'll get to in a second, by the way. The Athletic reported it's about a 50-50 chance whether or not the Seahawks will actually tag Shaquill Griffin. It's intriguing. Now, for now, I'm using Over the Cap's projected franchise tag cost. That will be impacted by the salary cap, other moves that end up happening around the NFL. So for now, it's 15.3, but could be a little bit higher, could be a little bit lower, somewhere around $15 million per year. And I think that's about what, maybe a little bit more, than what Griffin should be able to get on the open market in free agency. And if the tag comes in at $14 million or less, it makes a little bit more sense then. The Seahawks are in need of cornerback help. We all know that. I like DJ Reed. I think Marquise Blair can be a nickel for you. You lose Shaquill Griffin and Quentin Dunbar? Folks, if you throw out DJ Reed and Trey Flowers as your 2 best corners next year, you're cooked. Or you're not going to have any success. So even if you don't tag Griffin, you got to have a backup plan. Maybe that's Quentin Dunbar. Maybe that's a different unnamed free agent. Maybe that's a draft pick altogether. If you tag Shaquill Griffin with DJ Reed, you feel good about cornerback for at least the 2021 season. So what do you guys want to do then with Shaquill Griffin? Do you want to tag him? That's another yes or no question, folks. A for yes, or type in B for no. Let's go to KJ Wright, who made some recent comments that I think are very impactful for Seattle. He said he wants to stay in Seattle, but no way is he taking a hometown discount. And you know what? Even though that'd be great for the Seahawks, I agree with KJ Wright. If I were KJ Wright, if I were his agent, if I were advising him, I'd say, hell no, you ain't taking a discount. Here's what Wright had to say exactly. I do way too much on the football field to take a discount. That makes absolutely no sense. I have a family. I'm trying to set up long-term success for them. That's out of the question. And KJ's right. Get it? Producer Sam got it. It took him a second, but he got there. Wright's coming off, I think, one of his best years in a long time. 11 tackles for loss, 10 pass breakups. At his age, this is potentially his last chance to really cash in and set his family up for success, right? And if you're Seattle, you're paying Bobby Wagner big money. Only dummies want to move on from him to keep KJ Wright. and you drafted Jordan Brooks in round 1, and he flashed a lot of promise, or last year you drafted him, showed a lot of promise in year 1. You're only going to use 2 linebackers in most situations. So do you want to have a first-round draft pick and 2 highly paid linebackers on your roster? No, that's bad roster construction. So even though I like KJ Wright a lot, he's a damn good football player, die has already been cast. I think the most likely outcome by a good margin is KJ Wright goes elsewhere this offseason.